Welcome back, and today is going to be a short video, maybe a little longer, but a short video just looking at this Orc Warboss that I finished and painted up. I got this from a buddy, shout out to Scott, and this is from the Warhammer Online Age of Reckoning. I believe it was a pre-order, or it might have been just a special box set you could buy this model. This one's damaged, it's missing a claw on its right hand, but I still love it, so here it is. I guess we could talk a little bit about the tactics. You really don't need to know how I painted it. I mean, you've seen models I painted. There's tutorials. There's everything. So let's talk about Warhammer Fantasy and the Orc Warboss and how I think he stacks up in 8th edition, because that's the edition we play as we sit here and wait for the official 9th edition release. I'm not going to venture into the 9th age or the age of the other one. I can't even think what it's called anymore. I'm not going to venture into any of those because I have everything for 8th edition, and I literally mean everything for 8th edition. Books, rules, supplement-wise, all of it. I loved 8th edition. I was probably the first edition I could afford to pre-order anything, and I pre-ordered everything you could. The only thing I'm missing is the old skull bone dice that they had, and if you played Warhammer Fantasy, you know what I'm talking about. You've seen them. I've heard the dice are terrible. I don't care. I think they look great. Eventually, someday, I'm hoping I can get a hold of a couple sets of them and use them. But until then, I'll just keep using my dice. But let's talk about the Orc Warboss and the Orc Big Boss. And not necessarily the Black Orcs, because that falls into a slightly better category, I think, than the standard Orc Warboss. When you're taking a normal Orc Warboss or Orc Big Boss, you're taking a slightly cheaper warlord, or you're playing a themed army, much like the army I'm going to be playing. It's mostly 3D printed. This is obviously is not. But let's just talk a little bit about him. The most important thing, he's toughness 5. He's got 3 wounds. That's pretty normal for a lord. Strength 5, pretty amazing. Plus the Choppa's rule. And he has 4 attacks. That's all great. That's all great stuff. If you're not familiar with Choppas, they get +1 strength in the first round of combat. It's amazing. The key to this is the Wa ability. And if you're playing Orcs and Goblins, I'm not saying you're not playing not to win, but it is very difficult to win a game, and that's because of animosity. And unlike the Black Orc Warboss, he does not quell. So he could still be affected by animosity, but his special rule, just like all the war bosses, is Wog. And that gets him and his unit plus D3 to their combat resolution, and all other orcs on the table get +1. But you can only do that if he's alive. And it's a very important rule, because your entire army and your entire game is probably going to be centered around being able to use that ability. And what happens if you don't? Orcs aren't super great. They're good. They have good strength. They have good toughness. They have the Choppa's rule. They have poor leadership, and they're slightly expensive for what you get compared to other factions. But they are phenomenal fighters. I mean, I think they can take two Choppas, 2 hand weapons, or additional hand weapons rather. But I'm running mine with spears, and I'm running a unit with sword and board. So I probably won't be worried about too much about that. So obviously I'm not playing to the competitive edge, but I'm playing to have fun currently. And I think that this is going to be an excellent addition to my army. And I already know what's going to come up the next video after this one. It's a secret, but you're really going to like it. I guess just take a look at this, and I can barely contain my excitement to share with you my next project. And I will see you all soon.